Hi everyone, my name is Steve. Today I'd like to take a moment to record how I felt, to share my reflections or my thoughts on how I successfully passed AWS Solutions Architect Professional exam, which is this one, the one on the top left corner of this website that I'm looking at. As most of you guys know, if you follow closely on my channel, I have passed all of these four previously. This one. By the order is I passed the Cloud Practitioner first, then Solutions Architect Associate, then Developer, then SysOps Associate. Then I thought, okay, so I have passed all of these associate level or the most foundational level. Why not take it to the next level, right? So I thought I could pass professional exam. So that's why everything got started. Actually, it turned out a lot harder than I thought. I would say this is by far the most difficult exam I've ever taken. I took GRE exam before I was able to get accepted into graduate school. But in comparison, I can confidently tell you this one exam, Solutions Architect Professional, is by far the most difficult exam that I have ever taken. And the reason you can see this video, that means that I have passed it already after a few attempts. So I'll go into more details to share my story. So just stay with me. Now, let me go to AWS Training. Let me log into my account and show you guys what it looks like. So after you log into your AWS Training, you click Certification, you click Go to your account. Then things will pop up. What I want to show is digital badges. Now they have something called, it's going to be retired October, which is next month. And then they have something called a credit, a claim, which I put on my LinkedIn profile already. So you can see here, all of these badges are ordered by the time that I received them. So I've made 4 videos, at least I think I made 5 videos. For one of the exams, I made 2 for the exam. So I have 5 videos for these first certificates that I have passed and received. This is the 5th one that I just got last weekend, and this is the one that I just got this morning. So I'd like to take a moment this is the DevOps Professional exam. But for this video, I'd like to spend some time to talk about my experiences, my thought on passing the most difficult exam, period. That's all of the exams I've taken, not only technical or just like say, it could be GRE or just purely academical, right? This one is by far the most difficult. The more difficult it is, the more marketable or the more valuable it is, right? So I am very happy to have passed this. So here's my story. Also, just a few quick things. I didn't know this before, but based on this, the way that AWS lays out all of these certificates, I guess you could kind of tell if you pass this one, you are automatically qualified for this one and this one. Does that make sense? Because this is like the foundation of this one, and this one is the foundation of this one. But I took this one and this one first before I tried to pass this one. So the reason I want to mention this is after I got certified for the Solutions Architect Professional, both of these 2 of my certificates, Solutions Architect Associate and Cloud Practitioner, they got renewed automatically. So these 2's expiration days are the same as this one. So I passed these 2 like in March of this year, but I passed this one in September. So it's valid for 3 years. This one is going to be expiring in September 2023, and these 2, they got extended to 2023 September as well instead of March of 2023. So that's just one interesting thing, just to let you guys know. I didn't know this before. Even if I had known this, I would still have taken this one first, just as one step after another. I like to boost my confidence. I know where I am before I try to climb the highest mountain, right? That's just the way that I feel. But of course, I know that I know some people who only took these 2 professional exams. They have like 10 or 15 years of experiences building things, maintaining things. So I'm not at that level. So I still feel like I better go through these foundational or basic levels first. So the same goes for this one. So as I've told you guys, I passed these 2 exams and I got certified for these 2 first. And then eventually yesterday, I took this exam and passed it. The moment like about 10 hours later, I got a certificate for this one. And then I checked these 2 certificates of mine. Both of them got extended as well. So they don't expire, like say March of 2023, 3 years later. Instead, when the expiry time for these 2, they got extended another like 6 months, which is the time when this certificate is going to be expiring, which makes sense because these 2, based on the way they lay out, right? These 2 should be the foundation of this one. If you pass this one, you are automatically renewed for these 2. So I think that makes sense. Just a side knowledge. Okay, so now back to my story about how I approached this Solutions Architect professional exam. My first attempt to pass this exam was in April of 2020. Right after I passed this one, I thought, oh, I'll just give it a shot and see maybe I can pass it. But it turned out to be very wrong. So first, there's a technical issue. After like say 58 minutes, my computer crashed. So I couldn't log in. After I logged back in, the session was abandoned. So I couldn't complete the exam. And later on, I got an exam report back saying my score was 412. Of course, the passing score is 750. I'm far below that. One thing is that I didn't complete the exam. There are like many, like 20 or 30 or 50 questions left behind. I didn't even get to see them, right? That's my first attempt. But just from that attempt, that was pretty soul crushing. I know I'm far below the bar because there are just too many questions that I had no clue which answers were correct. So that's just how difficult, how challenging that was. So I was pretty depressed after that. That's my first attempt, which is in April. And then I studied really hard for the second time, which I think it took place, I set it up sometime in May or June, I don't really recall. But as time goes by, I have a full-time job which is pretty demanding as well. So I just don't really have time to study for this. And then I scheduled it once due to time conflict. I scheduled it twice because there's still time conflict. And the third time, I have another meeting for my job, which I couldn't take it. So I was planning to reschedule it for the third time. Only at that time, I learned that on Pearson VUE, so I took the exam with Pearson VUE. There are 2 exam providers. One is Pearson VUE, the other is, I don't recall the name. But Pearson VUE allows you only to reschedule twice. So I really didn't know that. So my second attempt is not really my second attempt. I just have to abandon that session because I have a very important meeting with my job that I couldn't skip. So I took that meeting and abandoned this scheduled exam. So that's the second one, not really my second one. So then after that, I thought, okay, should I really be taking this? Nobody's asking me to do this. Why am I doing this? But later on, I felt, okay, this is just something that may be really worth trying. I really picture the moment when I see the screen, because for these exams, when you pass it, at the end of the exam, you just know whether you pass or fail immediately after you submit the exam, right? So that's the exciting thing. I feel like I'm very cherishing that moment. I'd like to see pass for Solutions Architect professional exam. So that's the moment that's driving me through to go through all of these difficult periods. So then I set up another time, which is in July or August. I don't really recall. But this time I studied really hard. I thought I could pass it, but still I failed. That's really depressing. So I failed later on the second day. It usually takes like them 1 day, but less than 24 hours. They will email you a report, a score report, how well you did it, or things like that. So I take a look at the report. My score was 712. The passing score is 750. Oh wow! I thought that was really, really close. That gave me a lot of confidence. Plus, for this one, I had 59 minutes left behind. So it's not like the first time I didn't even have enough time. Even if my computer didn't crash, I wouldn't have enough time to complete the whole exam. But this time, I had 59 minutes left over. Though I failed it, I felt much more confident. So I kept on pressing myself to study really hard. A week ago, I have finally successfully passed this exam. So after 3 attempts, on my 3rd attempt, I have finally passed this. And I'm pleased to announce that my score is 831. It's not that, like, it's not even 900. It's not even close to 1000, which is the total distributed score of this exam. But still, I'm pleased to have passed it. And at the moment when I click submit the exam, I know I should be passing this because I feel very confident for a good number of questions that I think it could give me a passing score. At my final attempt, I recall very vividly, I got 19 minutes left before I click submit. The total length of the exam is 180 minutes. You got a total of 75 questions. Very few of them are 3-choice questions. So you're given like 4 or 5 or 6 choices. Most of them are single choice questions, meaning you only need to pick one as the only true correct answer to your question. Quite a few of them are double choice questions, meaning you have to pick 2 out of 5 or 6 given choices. I think only 1 or 2 are 3-choice questions, meaning you have to pick 3 out of 6 given choices as your chosen correct answer. Yeah, that's just my experiences. To begin with, I don't really have any pressure to pass any one of these exams. The reason I'd like to pass this is because I felt like I'm working on top of AWS. I'm building things, running things on AWS day in and day out for the past 6 years. So I thought I'm experienced. So why not take my experiences to get them certified, to to show something, right? That's the whole reason I started my certification journey. So this exam is a really grilling or soul-crushing experience. But again, this is what makes this certificate really valuable and marketable and cherishable, right? And also, just the journey while I'm studying for this exam is really self-improving. I've learned so many things through this journey of studying and preparing for this exam. Although, as I said, I've worked on AWS like day in and day out. Every day I open my AWS console, DynamoDB, S3, EC2, CloudFormation, everything, right? But still, just the breadth of this examination is just mind-blowing. Like say, the AWS code pipeline. I've never used this in my day-to-day work, right? And AWS code build, code commit, all of these things. And also virtual private gateway, virtual interface, S3 storage gateway, cached volume or storage volume, all of these things. I don't really get a chance to get my hands dirty, right? Get any practical experience with the whole breadth of AWS services that this exam is designed to test. That's just the thing that I spend a lot of time to prepare for. And also, I think the biggest challenge of preparing for this exam is time. For me, I have a full-time job that is pretty demanding already. Plus, I have 2 kids. They're really fun. It's really always a great pleasure and joy to play with them, but they really demand your attention as well. So playing with them is very time-consuming. So I would say, and also with the current COVID thing going on around the world, everybody is working from home forever and schools are closed. So it's just a mess. Everything is a mess in my house. So I would say to just really carve out at least 30 minutes or 45 minutes every single day to study for this exam, to time box this half an hour, to just block this on your calendar to study for this. That would be the key for me. But of course, I've spent a couple more hours over the weekend besides playing with them and doing other things. So just using these times to study, that's the key, just to keep the momentum going. You don't want to give up for a week. You have a week of a break, and then after that week you come back, you try to open up to study again. You might have lost that momentum. So just keep this momentum going. It's very key. That's what I feel. And just to be honest with you guys, along the way, as I said, my first attempt was in April or March, and then I finally passed in September. Throughout this 4 or 5 month period, the thought of giving up, of not participating in this professional level exam anymore, has occurred to me multiple times. Just to be honest, it's just very daunting. It's a very challenging exam. So I thought of giving up, but eventually I overcome that feeling. I know this is something that I can achieve. For those of you guys who think this exam is just too difficult, just hang in there. Just a couple more days or a couple more weeks. Just study hard, plan your schedule. I'm sure you can pass it. If I can pass it, you can pass it for sure. And now in retrospect, I feel after passing this exam, it has really taken my AWS knowledge or just my technical experiences to a whole different level. It's going to instruct and teach you how to build a highly available, a highly scalable system, right, on top of the cloud, on top of the AWS cloud, which is very marketable. And now, well, just to briefly go through some technical aspect of how I really prepared for this exam. So what I used is Wiz Labs. Yes, this one. Wiz Labs. Yes, this one. So let me log in. I actually used Wiz Labs to prepare for all of these 6 certificates. I really love Wiz Labs. Let me show you guys why I highly recommend Wiz Labs. Okay, so this is the one, AWS Certified Solutions Architect Professional Access Now. Here they offer, so after you purchased, I think this is, they offer one free test, which is just to give you a sense, a feeling of how they teach you, how they organize you. Of course, they have online courses, labs, report, my certificate. I didn't even use all of this, so they offer a lot of cool features or cool functionalities to help you prepare, cool modules to help you prepare for this exam. But I only used practice tests. And I have actually completed all of them. Practice tests 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and section test 4, final test 1. So I have completed all of them, which I feel very fruitful. I have learned a lot, but of course the process is very soul crushing. It's a very grilling experience. Let me show you guys. So my first attempt, you see, my first attempt, I completed only 7 of them. I just gave up. I couldn't bear that anymore. Just too many questions. I had no clue at all. Fail. And the second one, I got 40%. I didn't even complete the entire 80 questions. All right, that's my very first diagnostic test. Just to give you guys a very honest and clean view of how I was able to prepare. The second, it doesn't show attempt. Oh yeah, here's the attempt. I still fail. I completed all of them, so but I got only half, 41 out of 80 correct. Fail. So still fail. So now let's move on to practice test 2. Still 42. So all of these questions are completely different. It's not that my score is exactly the same. That means the questions are exactly the same. No, they're completely different questions for these 2 practice tests. It just shows you how terrible I was at the time when I completed. This was April 2020, right? Now it's September. Practice 3, let's see. I got even worse. For April 20, 2 days later, I got only 35 out of 80 questions correct. Still fail. I have never succeeded in any one of these practice tests. Okay, this one finally got a little bit better, 47 questions correct. These are specific section tests. Now let's see my final one. My final one, yeah, it's like even less than half, 39 questions. So I would say, again, I just would use one word, soul crushing. You'd get crushed many times while studying for this, but this is just the way that I learn things. I learn new concepts. If you score 100% out of these, all of these, or any one of these questions, that means you're not learning anything new, right? You know all of these concepts already. So for me, I didn't know this. So after, I might have spent like 4 hours or 5 hours to just even pass this one practice exam. But then I need to spend another 10 hours just to go through to review the exam, because a lot of things, they were just brand new to me. I didn't know any of this. There are a bunch of AWS services that I didn't even know they existed. Then I just go through what they offer, and then I log into my own AWS console to play around with this, to spin up an EC2 instance, to open up ECS or container services, Kubernetes. Just log into your own AWS console, play around with this, and go to the AWS official documentation if you still don't understand something. This is the way that I learned this. Of course, I maintained some detailed notes along the way, and right before the exam, I reviewed my notes again so that I have a very fresh memory before I walk into the exam. Okay, a couple more things that I'd like to show you guys how and why I felt Wiz Labs is really cool and helpful. Let me click free and just to show you guys. Okay, let me just quickly start again and show you guys. Okay, so this is one feature that I really like is for this free test, there's only a total of 15 tests. But for the other tests, after you have purchased the course suite, which I think is very affordable, by the way, then there's a total of 80 questions here. So I have never been able to complete one test just in one session, in one setting. I just didn't have that much time. It's going to take me at least 3 hours, right? For the official exam, the allocated time is 180 minutes, which is 3 hours. And when I was preparing for this, going through Wiz Lab practice tests, a lot of the questions were new, so I have to spend like twice much the time that I need. So usually 5 or 6 hours to complete the entire 80 questions. So the nice feature about Wiz Labs that I really like and I appreciate it is that you can see, like for example, we just pick this and move on to the next one, and pick 2 and move on to the next one. One more, move on to the next one. Wiz Labs will automatically mark all of this. They will persist your choices here. And now you can just simply log out. And like say you go to lunch, you play with your kids, you do something else. Now you log back in. All of these previously marked questions, they are still marked. And the order is kept. This is the feature that I really like because you just cannot finish one practice exam in one session. It's just impossible. That's the case for me. It took me like 4 or 5 hours to complete one practice test. So of course I didn't finish that in one setting. Usually I finish that in 3 or 5 sessions. So this practice exam gives you that ability. See here, you can pause the timer. This is another feature that I really appreciate. And also after you complete this exam, let's just complete. I want to exit. Yes. There is this review. Let me show you guys. You can click the report, right? Which they offer you very clear and detailed analysis, and it even points you to the correct AWS documentation to let you dive deep to help yourself understand why this is the correct answer. So that's why I highly recommend Wiz Labs. Yeah, that's it for this video. I'm planning to come up with another video to dive a little bit deeper into more detailed analysis, like for example, section by section, CloudWatch, EC2, S3, section by section of how I've prepared for this exam. Just let me know down below in the comment section if you guys want to view another video, something like more at a lower level, at a more detailed level, to share my experiences of passing and preparing for this exam. The last thing that I would say is that sleep well the night before you're planning to take the exam, because this is a very long exam. 180 minutes, 3 hours total. And right before you walk into the exam room, please don't drink too much water, because I'm taking it from my home and there's no proctor around me. So of course you cannot leave where you are seated. You just cannot leave. If you leave, like say, if I want to go to the bathroom, your session is abandoned, right? So just don't drink too much water. It's just going to be a pain. Yeah, sleep well the night before. Don't drink too much water. Make yourself feel very comfortable of where you are seated. Dive into the exam. Take it, crush it. So that's what I'd like to share at this moment. I'll have another video to share my experiences and thoughts of passing DevOps professional exam next week. So just stay tuned. If you guys find this video helpful, please do me a favor and hit the like button. I really appreciate it. That's going to help a lot with the YouTube algorithm and helping out tremendously. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. As you can see, you can check out my playlists. One of them is Amazon Web Services. If you guys are into that, see how I've prepared and passed for the other AWS certificate exams. Hopefully I'll just see you guys in just a few short seconds in my other videos. That's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching.